Yeah, I'm going to start making some more ethanol, and I got a great deal on sugar. Now, why am I showing you this and why am I telling you this right now? Now, typically I go to the local 99p shop, which actually sells kilograms of sugar normally at 85 pence. At the moment, they've done a good deal, and it's gone down to 69 pence per kilogram at the moment. Now, if you need 4.5 kilograms to make your ethanol, you do the maths. You know, I mean, basically that's nicely cheap. So whenever you see a good deal, basically pounce upon it and stock up on whatever you can. So that's probably cheaper than going to a lot of places in the world, if you know what I'm talking about. So making it in the traditional manner, using a bread yeast to do the fermentation with, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm going to clean out the fermentation bin. So that involves scrubbing it, but to cut down the cost of using sterilization chemicals on it, I'll be using this, which is my newer, higher powered ultraviolet wand. Now it's going to take some time to make sure I can kill off all the germs on it, and I can only do it on the sides of the container. I can't do it right at the bottom because of the shape of the wand which I'm using to do the killing off the germs. Okay, but on the other hand, with the help of the light which comes out of it, I should still be able to do some good as far as getting rid of most of the muck. Now, as far as the actual bottom of the tub is concerned, way down there, I just put some of my existing ethanol, which I've still got in stock, on there, swirl it around. That'll hopefully kill off the vast majority of the bacteria, spores, mold, funguses and the rest of that which might be there prior to the addition of the hot water and so on and so forth. So let's get on with cleaning it out with washing up liquid and hot water first. Then I'll dry it, then I'll get on with using the ultraviolet wand, get the inside of the walls done, and then we'll rinse the bottom with alcohol, and therefore the effort of sterilization of the vessel will be done cheaper than using regular chemicals. I should also be able to use this for a period of time on the hydrometer, as well as the thermometer I use to measure the temperature of the water and sugar solution, which you then put the yeast in, nutrient and all the rest of that. So this is probably going to be the cheapest batch of ethanol I've ever made, since I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to be able to get that wonderful distiller in my possession. Yeah, the purpose of me being fastidious about the cleaning process and really giving the thing a scrub down is that my research suggests that bacteria can multiply 6 times quicker than the yeast itself, and so it's important to reduce the places where the bacteria can actually grow. So I've been using this, just your standard kitchen sponge, brand new, and with a good scouring surface to help to dislodge any grease. Now you might think it hasn't been in a greasy environment, but I'm telling you, if anything is lurking around anywhere, it will pick up some kind of grease. I don't know. The more domestic cleaning you do, the more you realise that dust, grease and germs can just suddenly appear at random. And so you've got to do what you can to try and cut down the likelihood that any of those nasty things is going to affect the fermentation process, so you can get a nice good quality of alcohol being produced if you're using it for fuel purposes, which is what I'm doing. I'm of the opinion it's also a good idea to make sure the kettles are clean. I guess more than 60 seconds of this light over the top and on the inside will probably give it what it needs. Now we mix the hot water with the sugar and then get the temperature down to about 40 degrees Celsius. It's important to dissolve the sugar very thoroughly, so I've discovered. And I mean very thoroughly. So essentially that's what we're doing right now, getting a syrup going, and then that becomes the basis of the food for them lovely yeast cells. So it'll make for me the bioethanol that I'll be able to use to burn, cook food, make hot water, keep the place warm when we have power cuts. Got ourselves a good starting temperature. Now we're just adding the 3 sachets of yeast. I've used a full 5 kilograms of sugar in this particular ferment. Alright, so now we're just going to get that all mushed up. Then we're going to add some nutrients to the whole wash. Just a little, not too much. And then those little yeast cells, they're going to start eating the sugar, eating the nutrient, or doing whatever it is they do. Some people say that the yeast actually breathes the sugar, extracts the oxygen molecules and excretes the alcohol. Some people say that the yeast actually feeds on the sugar. There's different forms of yeast. This is just bread yeast. We just can see how well it does. But I've had some good results with bread yeast before, so I'm not going to complain too much. And then we'll leave it all to do its thing. Make sure it's thoroughly all mixed up. Seriously mixed up yeast cells. Making lots of lovely fuel for me. Starting specific gravity was about 1.075, so we're probably looking at a resultant alcohol percentage of between 10 and 12% if we're lucky. So if we're talking about 85% alcohol after distillation, we may be talking about the proper 3 litres I should be able to get out of this in a couple of weeks' time. So wish me luck. Remember, this was sterilized using ultraviolet light mainly and alcohol. It wasn't sterilized using chemicals, and that'll cut down the cost as well. So this is probably the cheapest alcohol I've ever made in my entire life. Wish me luck, I'm going in.